You ever go to a neighborhood garage sale and see somebody selling a vintage camera for like $5 when it's actually worth 500? Most people just let it happen. But not this kid. Yeah. He's 13, he's got a tablet, and he's running an appraisal firm in his neighborhood. You see, these families near his house, they have garage sales all the time, and they have no idea what they're selling. They're just clearing out their attics. Then the lowballers show up. Oh, that's a big box of Pokemon cards. How much? Oh, you can have them for $5, sweetie. Perfect. Well, you see, that's when the auditor would show up. He would walk up to a neighbor's garage sale and say, I don't want any of your money. I just want 10% of the extra cash you make. He then pulls out his tablet and he starts appraising every single item that these people are selling. He would check on eBay to see the realistic price. Sir, this camera's worth $200 and you're selling it for $3. What? Oh my God, really? That's so good to know. Imagine a guy trying to pay $5 for an old dusty lamp. Yeah, that sounds fair. Actually, that's a mid-century original lamp. It sold for $85 yesterday on eBay. You can have it for $60. People pay. By the end of the day, he would make $100 in commission without having to sell a single item. And the neighbors he's helping are so grateful. And honestly, I never thought about this, but it's genius. And this time I definitely gotta say, respect the hustle. This school prank lasted for 2 years. It all began at this high school when a single rubber duck appeared in the school's water fountain. And nobody thought much of it. It was just a random duck, who cares? Until the next day, 2 ducks, then 4, then 10. By the end of that week, there was rubber ducks appearing in every sink, every toilet, and even in students' lockers. Teachers were losing their minds. The principal, she was done. She kept saying on the intercom, whoever's responsible for the ducks, speak up now, please. Silence. Nobody confessed. So they gave up. They figured it would eventually sizzle out. But here's the thing, it never stopped. For 2 years, rubber ducks would randomly appear in the craziest of places. Ceiling tiles, inside the vending machines, somehow. One duck even appeared in the vice principal's car. It became a legend till this senior year. It was graduation. The principal was giving her speech when suddenly a banner dropped down. What was on the banner? A single rubber duck. This kid walked to the front of the stage and said, "It was me. It was always me." Top 3 principals on a power trip. Number 1, this principal banned all backpacks because the hallways were messy and crowded. So now kids had to carry classes worth of stuff in their arms all day. Folders ripping open, papers on the floor. Meanwhile, this principal still walks around with her leather briefcase. Oh, pardon me. Pardon me. It became such an issue, parents kept calling the school, asking why backpacks weren't allowed. After a few days, so many kids started asking the principal about her briefcase that the rule died. The next one, this principal was tired of students being late to first period, so he forced every single teacher to lock every single classroom door the second the bell rings. And if you don't do it, there's gonna be problems. Didn't matter if it was raining outside or if your bus was late. If you weren't there before the bell, you weren't getting into class and you had to go to the office. One morning, a school board member showed up for a surprise visit, and when she walked through the hallways, she saw tons of students banging on their classroom doors trying to get in. What is going on here? Number 1, there was a principal who decided students were too loud during lunch, so he made the cafeteria completely silent, and detentions were handed out to anyone that spoke even one word. Milk? Detention! Hundreds of kids eating in total silence. It was completely insane, until one day this kid brought a whoopee cushion. He thought it would be funny to prank his friend during silent lunch, so his friend sits down. It was a slow, loud whoopee cushion fart. Everyone was silent for a few seconds after that. Then they just burst out laughing. Even the principal. Okay, we can talk again. I guess all it took was some light-hearted fart joke to turn the mean old man into a softie again. The principal's toupee gets stolen during school. And within minutes, everybody knows, and everybody's joking about it. Dude, Mr. Killman looks so dumb. Kids were whispering in the hallways, even teachers were trying not to laugh. And whenever he walks down the hallway, people pull their phones out to record him. He's humiliated. He's trying to act normal, but he's falling apart like a sad little puppy. And for a second, you almost feel bad for him. But then you remember, yesterday he called you into his office. He thought you were involved in a fight that you weren't involved in. So you're in there, and he's just going in. Now, don't you lie to me. I know you were involved in this. You're a horrible student. I knew the second that you got here, you were gonna cause trouble. And I bet your grades suck, don't they? Let's look them up. You know what? I'm not gonna look them up. I'm just gonna send you home to your horrible mom. You know, she was in my class when I taught here years ago, and she was horrible then too. Get out of here. Pretty brutal. And here's one more thing. You know exactly where the toupee is because you saw the kid that stole it. He secretly hid it behind the trophy case. Nobody else knew. And that kid is definitely not coming forward, so now it's only you. You could grab it, hand it back to him, be the bigger man, and maybe the principal will treat you differently, or you could destroy the toupee and let him be humiliated for the rest of the day. What would you do? He was a kid. His mom dragged him to the nearest 7-Eleven. I don't want to go. Well, that's too bad. Well, they get there. She goes in the store, but he waits outside. He then sees this older, strange-looking guy sitting against a wall. Hey. Hey, want to see something cool? And he's a kid, so he said yes. Of course he wants to see something cool, which you should never do. The man then smiles, and then pulls off a prosthetic leg and showed this kid his leg stump. Look at this. The leg stump had a very weird smiley face drawn on it in Sharpie. The kid absolutely freaks out. That's not cool. The man then panics because I guess he had good intentions. Oh, no, wait, look, it's actually cool, look. The kid's now ugly crying, the mom runs out of the store. What's going on? His leg. The man's embarrassed, the mom's freaking out at him. I don't know why he showed the kid his leg stump anyway, but she went home with her kid. And years later, when he sees a 7-Eleven, he freaks out a little bit still. Dumb reasons people got in trouble at school. It was grade school and it was the end of the day. This kid got on his bus, but the bus driver had to wait a few minutes to leave because there were still some students making their way to the bus. So the bus driver suggested they sing a song. All right, students, we're gonna be heading out here soon, but while we wait, let's do a little sing-along, okay? Let's sing Twinkle Twinkle Little Star. That's when this one kid said this. Twinkle Twinkle Little Star sucks. What did you say to me? Twinkle Twinkle Little Star sucks? That's it. The driver then went back to where this kid was sitting and dragged him off the bus and pulled him by the arm to the principal's office. Come on. The heck? Yeah, Miss Henley, this kid threatened me. You should give him a detention, make him stay. I did not. Sit down. I'm calling your parents. His parents were then called and they were forced to pick him up. They raised this issue to the school superintendent. He then checked the footage of the bus, and they obviously saw that this kid didn't do anything that bad. In fact, the bus driver shouldn't have grabbed him like that. He was fired. The school printer hustle. One of my subscribers sent in this story about a business he ran in school. So when this kid was in 9th grade, his school charged 10 cents per page to print anything from the library computers. Now the library had some of the only printers in the entire school, and nobody carried cash or change on them, so this was a real pain in their ass. And the school system would not take digital payments, so kids were constantly begging teachers to print stuff for them, which the teachers thought was annoying. Well, one day this kid noticed a printer sitting in the corner of one of the unused computer labs, unplugged. It was just sitting there collecting dust. So at the end of the day, he went to that computer lab, grabbed the printer, and tried to get out of the school as fast as he possibly could. He made it. He went home and he had the printer with him. He spent 20 bucks on ink for that specific printer. He then got a big duffel bag and set the printer up in his duffel bag. The next day, he started offering his own printing service. But unlike the school, this kid was gonna take digital payments. Venmo, Cash App, PayPal, Zelle, you name it. He even took lunch trades. He printed it all. Homework, essays, last-minute assignments, nothing was off limits. At first, he just charged 5 cents per page to print. He wanted to undercut the school to get the business, but once word started to spread, it didn't matter. People were willing to pay up to 50 cents per page, just because it was convenient. Some teachers, who didn't have printers in their classroom and hated using the library printers, started paying him as well to print out worksheets for their class. And bingo! By the end of the semester, he had so much business that he had to bring a second backpack to carry all the printer paper in. This wasn't just a side hustle. This was a full-blown underground print shop. Genius. Well, we all knew this would happen. This is Barry, and when his family hadn't heard from Barry in a few weeks, they called the police to do a welfare check on him. And what they found was absolutely brutal. When they got to Barry's house, the door was unlocked, so they went in. They found Barry lying in his bed in a pool of blood with a stab wound to his stomach. They noticed a blood trail, so they followed the blood trail to the kitchen. And on the counter were 2 frozen burger patties with a piece of paper stuck in the middle. Next to the patties was a knife with blood on it. Well, turns out a few months prior to this, Barry had suffered a stroke, which caused him to have limited mobility. So on the day of his passing, Barry must have been trying to separate these burger patties, as we all have at one moment. Banging them on the counter, trying to get that knife in there, trying to separate those patties, but he must have slipped, and that knife must have went right into his stomach. He accidentally stabbed himself. Freaked out, he pulled the knife out, put it on the counter, went to his room where his phone was, sat on his bed, and tried to phone the police. He didn't make it. Rest in peace, Barry. This kid is a kingpin. When this dude was in 8th grade, his school had a huge problem. Apparently, the school's lockers sucked and they kept getting jammed, which caused a lot of students to be late for class all the time because they couldn't get their lockers open. Well, this kid had a brilliant idea. He saw this as an opportunity. He realized that these lockers weren't that hard to unjam. People were just kind of stupid, he said. So he went to the janitor. Hey, so about the jammed locker situation, I know how to open them. It's not that hard. I can help students unjam their lockers in between classes. The janitor said, that sounds good, man. I'll pay you $1 for every locker you unjam. He was gonna pay him $1 for every locker this kid helped fix. Now, at first, it was just a very small hustle. He was making a few bucks a day. But then he had another brilliant idea. Instead of waiting for lockers to jam, he started jamming the lockers himself. He would do anything. He would stick an eraser inside the lock or try to jam something in between the locker frame. You know, something that was just enough to make them seem broken, but it was easy for him to fix. Well, he went crazy on this one day. And by lunchtime, tons of students were panicking because none of their lockers were opened. They were all jammed. And guess who they went to for help? This kid. Since he already gained a reputation as the locker guy, he was the guy to go to. Teachers were even recommending him to students. So not only was he getting paid by the janitor for every locker that he fixed, some kids were so desperate to get their books or their lunches that they started paying him extra to get a priority fix. He was making double, if not more. And let me tell you, business was booming. This kid wasn't just solving a problem, he was also creating the problem. And that's absolutely genius. You gotta respect the hustle. When this kid was in 6th grade, he asked his teachers if he could get paid to clean up gum from under desks and chairs. They said sure. So he was getting paid $5 every time he cleaned up gum. Well, the principal found out about this and asked him if he could clean up the gum from under the tables in the lunchroom. He said sure. It was a nice little side hustle, but then he had a brilliant idea. He was gonna start selling gum. So he started buying these packs. This one's only $5 from Target. It's 8 packs with 15 pieces of gum in each pack. That's 120 pieces of gum, and he sold each piece of gum for 50 cents. He was making $60 after selling one whole thing of gum. But here's the kicker. Every time he sold somebody a piece of gum, he asked them when they were done with the gum if they could put it underneath desks or the lunchroom tables. So he would have to clean up the gum more often and make even more money.
So teachers are starting to realize that kids are using ChatGPT. There's a website called Quillbot, which you'll go here and get the paper. Then you take it from there, put it on Quillbot. Then Quillbot makes it seem like you wrote it, so the school cannot track it.
Not anymore. Quillbot is detectable, as you can see right here. I mean, this is the proof. Quillbot does not work anymore, but there is a solution. Use this tool instead to beat Turnitin and GPT-0, and it's completely free. It's called Grubby AI, and it's an incredibly effective AI text humanizer that is 100% undetectable by AI detectors. School's right around the corner, and I think this thing's gonna save your life. When this person was 14 years old, he really wanted to be a dog, but obviously he couldn't. So one day, when he was home alone, he decided he was gonna try to drink and eat like a dog. So he put Fanta in a bowl and Cheerios in another bowl. He then put them on the bedroom floor. He got down on his hands and knees and began licking the Fanta and eating the Cheerios as if he was a dog. After that, he used his back right leg to scratch his ear as if a dog would. He said he was enjoying himself. He said he was having a great time. But little did he know his dad was in the doorway this entire time watching him do this crazy stuff. His dad looked at him horrified. Dad, no. His dad walked away and he never mentioned it ever again. Crazy things that happened at a friend's house. When this kid was in middle school, one night he was having dinner at his friend's house with his friend's family. The dinner went well. The food was really good. But once everyone was done eating, the mom did something kind of repulsive. She took everyone's plates and put them on the floor. She then called the family dog into the kitchen and had the dog lick all of those plates clean. The mom then put those plates that the dog just licked clean back into the cupboard. And everyone in that family acted like it was completely normal. He said he was disgusted and he threw up that night because he was probably eating his food off of a dog-licked plate. He never went to that house ever again. This principal had the weirdest rule. Students at this high school were not allowed to wear hoodies around their waists. You know, what you do when you're too hot in your hoodie, so you just tie it around your waist, go about your day. Well, this was an actual rule, and it was in the school handbook. One day, one student asked the principal, "Hey, so just curious, why aren't we allowed to tie our hoodies around our waists?" "Oh, it's because when people do that, it makes them look like farmers. And I don't like farmers that much." The principal was dead serious, and I don't really understand how it made people look like farmers. That's dumb. Crazy things that happened at a friend's house. When this kid was in middle school, one night he was having dinner at his friend's house with his friend's family. The dinner went well. The food was really good. But once everyone was done eating, the mom did something kind of repulsive. She took everyone's plates and put them on the floor. She then called the family dog into the kitchen and had the dog lick all of those plates clean. The mom then put those plates that the dog just licked clean back into the cupboard. And everyone in that family acted like it was completely normal. He said he was disgusted and he threw up that night because he was probably eating his food off of a dog-licked plate. He never went to that house ever again. This one middle school teacher said that she had a class pet, a goldfish, that she loved very much. Well, one morning she got to school and she went to go feed her fish. All right, Felipe, time for breakfast. Felipe? Felipe? The fish was gone. Nowhere to be seen. The tank was empty. That entire day, she was incredibly sad. She announced to her class, "Hello, class. This morning I walked into the classroom to feed Felipe, and he is no longer in the tank. I have no idea where he is. I don't want to point any fingers, but I didn't move him, so that means one of you had to have taken my fish." No one said anything until later that night. She was sitting at home when she got a text from one of her students. It was a screen recording of a Snapchat story. The Snapchat story showed a kid putting Felipe the class fish into a water bottle and then giving that water bottle with Felipe inside of it to a random person on the street. Oh my God. She never saw Felipe again, and that kid was suspended. Black markets kids ran in their schools. This one did not work out so well for this guy. When he was in school, he tried to run a business. So the school had two Wi-Fi signals. One was public for the students and the other was private for the teachers. Obviously, the private Wi-Fi was the faster one. Well, this kid somehow got his hands on that Wi-Fi password. And he thought to himself, you know what? I'm gonna sell this password to other students at the school. And so he found his first customer. "I have the teacher's Wi-Fi password. Do you want it?" "Yeah, I want it. I'll sell it to you for 50 cents. 50 cents? Easy, here you go." He felt good. He made his first sale, and he was planning on making a lot more money that day. So after that next class was lunch. He was gonna walk around and try to sell this password to more students. "I have the private Wi-Fi password. You wanna buy it off me?"
Billy told me it already.
"Oh, okay. Hey, so I have the teacher's Wi-Fi password."
I got the password from Billy.
"Hey, you wanna buy the teacher's..."
Billy gave it to me, man.
Does everyone have...
Yeah, I think so.
Billy! One day at this one high school, the science class was dissecting sheep brains as a part of a science lab. Well, as the students were cutting up bits and pieces of the sheep's brain, I guess one of the kids had a pretty crazy idea. He took a few pieces of the sheep brain and put them in his pocket. And that day during lunch, he put pieces of sheep brain in the self-serve ranch bowls. So when the students went to serve themselves ranch, a few of them would get brain on their plate. Pizza day, ranch with pizza, ranch with pizza. Oh my God! At first, obviously, no one knew it was sheep's brain. They thought it was a human brain. And the rest of that day was absolute chaos. So I had another weird dream last night, and I want to show you something. Every so often when I have a really vivid dream, I want to write them down. And that's because when you write down your dreams every night, it helps you remember them more often. And when you remember your dreams more often, you're more likely to have a lucid dream, which is a dream that you know you are dreaming and you can do whatever you want, which is obviously awesome. So I use this app called Yoru X. I wake up from my dream in the middle of the night, I open up the app, and all you gotta do is press this button. And bingo, there you are. You can write down your dream right there. The coolest part about this is that the app will actually generate an AI image of your dream. It'll also interpret it for you. You can label it if it was a lucid dream or a nightmare, and you can make your dream diary entries public or private if you want. Check out this person's. They had a dream about a sorcery school. They wrote it down, the app interpreted the dream for them, and this is the AI generated image of the app made for that dream. Download it, write down your dreams for a whole week, and let me know the craziest dream you had. Check it out. So I've had this dream multiple times in the past week or so, and I wrote it down. I'm running around this large, futuristic city. I knew that there was a creepy and strange man that was chasing me and my friends. He would get close, and then we would run to another place and hide. He never caught up to us, but he was always very close. I woke up as he was about to find us. Weird dream, but I wanted to know what it meant. So I did some digging and I found this app called Yoru X, and they actually interpret your dreams for you. So I got it, I copied the dream that I wrote down, and I pasted it inside their app. And they gave me a dream interpretation. Okay, that actually makes perfect sense. Pretty thorough interpretation as well. I like this. The app's called YoraX. If you have any crazy dreams, try it out and leave your dream interpretations in the comments. I want to hear them. A woman was living inside a family fair sign in Michigan. On April 23rd last month, some contractors were working on something at this family fair store in Michigan when they noticed a very long extension cord leading up to the roof. They got to the roof, and they saw the cord going directly into the small door of the family fair sign. They decided to knock on the door, and that's when they heard a woman's voice. They were obviously startled, so they called the police.
Yeah, I was trying to get my stuff so I can get down right away. I'm moving out of here in 24 hours to get away from all of this.
You're coming out right now.
The inside of the sign was about 5 feet by 8 feet, and this woman had been living there for a year. She had put flooring down. There was a Keurig coffee machine, a small bed with bedding, her clothes, a mini desk, and a printer. And all of this stuff was powered by that extension cord. They called her the Roof Ninja.
It's not too bright out here, that's good.
This school made a huge mistake and it exposed everybody. So this one high school had just upgraded their Wi-Fi. New routers, faster speeds, all that, people were hyped. But then one day, students woke up to an email from the school's IT department. It was an auto email. The email contained a log of every single website people visited on that school's Wi-Fi. This log was emailed to every single person in the school, teachers included, and people were losing their minds. People were freaking out. One kid tried to delete his own Google account. Another kid just left school like it was over for him. He was just done. He left. Not only this, teachers were freaking out as well. The gym teacher quit that day. And although a crazy technical weird thing happened, the principal looked at these logs and decided that there was going to be consequences for certain websites that were visited. And one by one, students began getting called into the office. Black markets kids ran in their schools. At this kid's school, for some reason, the cafeteria didn't season anything. The food tasted frickin' bland as heck. And obviously, people like their food to taste good. So one kid had a brilliant idea. He went on Amazon and bought a bunch of those salt and pepper packets. He took that to school and he sold them 50 cents each. So if kids wanted one salt and one pepper packet, that would be $1. He was selling these salt and peppers left and right, and kids were happy. Everyone was like, yay, no more bland food. You're our hero, man. Yeah, you're our hero. He only did this for a few days before a school administrator shut him down. But in just a few short days, he made over $300. Gotta respect the hustle. This dude is crazy for this. So the guy that shared this story said that one day in middle school, he got to school early. And he noticed that there was a school bus in the school bus lot that was running and there was nobody in it. So he decided to get in the bus and he drove away. He took the school bus on a joyride around the town. He had been driving for about 20 minutes before he realized, oh, I better get back to school. His class is starting soon. So he drove the bus to a wooded area near the school. He drove it inside and left it there. He then walked to a gas station near this wooded area and used a payphone to call the police. Hi, yes, the police? Good, there's a school bus running in this wooded area by the Shell gas station. Somebody better come get it. He then walked to school, went to class. The police found the bus and took it back to the bus lot. He was never caught, and the school bus wasn't damaged at all. Nobody ever knew what he did. Until now. He said he kept that secret for years. But now that he's older, he said it was too good of a story not to share. Yeah, that's kind of legendary. 5 disgusting school lunches. Up first, we have a chili dog type lunch. And this one's not horrible, but it definitely does not look very appetizing. Up next was from a school that was serving chicken sandwiches one day. And this was the chicken sandwich that they were serving. Next, this is a meatloaf meal, I think. Is that meatloaf? I don't really know. It's definitely a super weird thing to serve at school lunch. Alright, this next school was serving pizza and mozzarella sticks one day. And here is a picture of that lunch. The pizza doesn't look cooked, the mozzarella sticks look nasty. And what are those? Garbanzo beans? Disgusting. And last but not least, another school lunch pizza, but this one was completely molded. Whoever served this to students should be fired. Here are some disgusting school lunches. Okay, the rice looks fine, the carrots look fine, but what is this disgrace of chicken nuggets? Like, come on. This kid got one slice of turkey covered in gravy and sliced carrots for lunch. And yes, that was all that the school was serving that day. This next one's absolutely horrible. It was a high school in New Jersey, and they were serving beef and cheese sandwiches for lunch. And this is said beef and cheese sandwich. This next one is from a school that was serving chicken patty sandwiches one day. This kid took a bite of his sandwich, and this is what he saw inside. That is the nastiest chicken sandwich I've ever seen in my entire life. What the hell is that? Alright, this next one is mac and cheese served with garlic bread. And last but not least, this person got an apple with their school lunch one day. They realized something was weird about it, so they cut it in half. And this is what the apple looked like inside. Absolutely disgraceful. Okay, this is hilarious. My follower sent me this story. She said that one day she was at her boyfriend's house when she had to go poop very bad. I have to go to the bathroom. Well, the bathroom is right next to her boyfriend's bedroom, so she figured she'd have to be quiet, otherwise he would know she was pooping. So she goes in there and sits down. What is that? She sees that the bathtub is full of water, so she asks her boyfriend, "Hey, so the bathtub's full of water. Is someone taking a bath or something, or am I still good to go in there?" He responds, "Yeah, my sister's really pregnant and she's gonna give birth at home, and that bathtub is for the water birth." Oh, okay. Obviously that's kind of weird, but she goes to the bathroom anyway and she starts pooping. And mid-push, the door bursts open. Oh, it's coming! The baby's coming! Talk about embarrassing. In one high school, there was a science teacher who was a bit older. He was a pretty nice guy, but he sweat all the time. Is it hot in here or is it just me? I'm sweating up a storm. Well, he would do this super weird, gross thing every single day. He had this plant on his desk, and towards the end of class, every single day, he would take off his shirt in front of everybody and wring out his sweaty shirt into the plant. Sir, what are you doing? Plants need water, Kyle. What do you think I'm doing? He was eventually fired because taking your shirt off in class is frowned upon. Makes sense. Times nice people snapped. This person said that when he was in middle school, there was a kid in his class named Bob. Bob was nice. He was kind of interesting. He was scrawny. He looked very small. And the gym teacher was a very, very mean man. And every day in gym class, he would make fun of Bob, ruthlessly. Well, one day, the gym teacher said something bad about Bob's mom. Well, Bob's mom had some conditions that made her weak and unhealthy. Not by her choice. She was sick. That's when Bob snapped. Something came over him, and scrawny Bob lunged for the 6'5" gym teacher and started beating his ass. And in that moment, the gym teacher looked like he stood no chance. Bob was going crazy on him. They were eventually split up, and Bob was expelled. But the gym teacher was fired for being a jerk and for fighting a student. This kid is an absolute legend. When this kid was growing up, he had somehow grown a tail. Well, by the time he was in 6th grade, he had to get it surgically removed. The surgery was a success, but he had stitches where the tail had to be removed. He was given a doctor's note to bring to class, to let his teachers know that he was supposed to sit on a soft cushion, because stitches. Well, one of his teachers wasn't having it. Hey, no, you can't sit on that unless you have a cushion for everyone in this class. But sir, I have a doctor's note. I don't care. These chairs are way too hard. I have stitches. Listen, you rabbit's foot prick. You're gonna man up and sit out, okay? So what he did was, on purpose, he sat down on that stiff chair as hard as he possibly could. So hard that his stitches tore, and he started bleeding all over the place. Go to the principal's office right now. When he got there, he told the principal what happened, and the principal was on his side. However, the worst part about this was the teacher didn't get in trouble at all. How to deal with a bully. Let's dive right in. Look, there's Steven. What a loser. Hey, Steven! Oh, what's up, Billy? Bro, you're an idiot and nobody likes you. What'd you say? I said you're an idiot, no one likes you, man. Loser. Hey, are you okay, man? What? I'm just wondering if you're okay, man. Why are you so mean and uptight? Is everything good at home? Shut up, dude. No, for real, man. Cut the crap. Honestly, are you good? Actually, man, it's been pretty rough at home. My parents have been fighting a lot recently. Thanks for asking. Yeah. Cry, baby! Guys, look, he's crying!
You're so dumb. Your parents are getting a divorce. You smell like my mom.
হাই হাই খাইছে কুচুটা কি তুমি
তুমি একটা ভিডিও কল করে পাঠাও প্লিজ প্লিজ কবে আমগো দেখা
কোচিনটা কি এটা আবার লগে এমন চিপা মাইটা দিয়েছেন কেমন ঠান্ডান বউ তারপর তো ভয় কাঁচে মুচু খায়া গেছে গা তারপর আবার দুর্নাম করতে হইব এই তোর কি গটা তো দামি ফোন
আইসে বাপ জান রাইতে ঠিকঠাক মতো ঘুমাইছে তো নাকি বাসায় গিয়া আব্বা জান রে কইবেন
কি করছো এটা তুই বাজার রে বাজার যাও চুইছে আজকাল করছে
সম্মান সব পাঞ্চার করে দিছে
মাগার দোষ আমারও আছে আমি একটু বেশি বাড়াবাড়ি করে ফেলছি চলো না আমরা বাড়িতে ফিরে যাই
তুমি কি পাগল হয়ে গেছো নি? এটাই আমার বাড়ি এখনতে।
চৌধুরী সাহেবের সাথে আমি কি কথা কইছি? তুমি কোনো কথাই কই নাই কে? সাজান তোমারে কইলো এত
দিচ্ছেন, হ্যাঁ দিচ্ছেন না? এলা বাইরন, আমার বাড়িতে বাইরন।
একবারে হাসা করছেন আব্বাজান। আপনার পোলার এই বাড়ি থাকা কোনো বিতলামি করলে আমি তোরা গাড়াই, কিন্তু ভাবলাম আপনাকে একমাত্র পোলা গাড়াইলে আবার দিলে চোট পায়।
তুমি
শোনো, তোমাগো খানদানে যেমন কিছু নিয়ম আছে আমাগো খানদানেও আছে।
এইসব ফাত্রা নিয়ম কেউ যেন জানবার না পারে, মনে থাকবো তো? তোর যে নতুন বাবি,
তোমাদেরকে আমার পরিচয় মানুষ চিনে, তোমাকে চেনে, ইউ আর দ্য ফাদার অফ ম্যাক্স দ্য প্র্যাঙ্কস্টার, ঠিক আছে? তোমাকেও মা
বিরাট স্টার।
বাট আমি চাইবো আমার ফার্স্ট মিটিংটা অনেক গ্লোরিয়াস হোক। আর যদি সে ফ্রড হয় তাহলে কিন্তু ওর খবরই আছে, একদম থাপড়ায় সব দাঁত ফেলে দিব। যাই হোক, দেখা যাক কি হয়। আমার লেট হচ্ছে দোস্ত, রাখি। হ্যাঁ,
টিন্ডার থেকে তুমি এর আগে আর কারোর সাথে কফি ডেট করেছো আমি ছাড়া?
হোয়াট? আমাকে কি দেখে মনে হয় চিপ? আমি এক্সক্লুসিভ ভার্সন, ওকে? আই এম নট অ্যাভেলেবল। কি ছিল? কি ছিল?
প্র্যাঙ্ক ছিল, বিশ্বাস হচ্ছে না? এই যে
Prank
আই সুইট, আই সুইট, ওই যে দেখেন মনোপড নিয়ে দাঁড়ায় আছে, এই যে আরেকজন ইফতে, একদম একদম গুলি করে দিব মাথার মধ্যে, ফুটা করে একদম এদিক দিয়ে বাইর করে ফেলবো। কি আছে বাইর কর?
কিচ্ছু নেই।
দে দে, হাত কিলু কালি, দে 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 এই দে।
হ্যাঁ দোস্ত, ওই যে প্র্যাঙ্ক বা ওই যে কি জানি একটা ছেলে আছে না, ফালতু, সারাক্ষণ মানুষকে ধোকা দিয়ে বেড়ায়, ওকে চিনিস তুই?
হ্যাঁ, চিনবো না কেন? ওকে না চিনার কি আছে? ওকে চিনে না এমন কেউ আছে?
এই শিখেছি ধরে 50 কি টেলিলেন্স নাকি? হ্যাঁ, 85 ইউজ করবি, দরকার পড়লে তোর আমি 70-200 কিনা দিব।
তুই টেনশন করিস না। হ্যাঁ,
কোনো চোর না, চুরি না, ডাকাতি না, এটা প্র্যাঙ্ক ছিল, টোটালি প্র্যাঙ্ক। প্র্যাঙ্ক শিখাইছে উস্তাদ। কেমন হলো প্র্যাঙ্ক? এটা সত্যি সত্যি প্র্যাঙ্ক ছিল, আমি ক্ষমা চাচ্ছি, সত্যি সত্যি প্র্যাঙ্ক ছিল। এ ভাই দেখেন দেখেন দেখেন, কালোই তো করবো। আরে আপা, আপনি তো এমনিতেই সুন্দর।
বাবাকে সালাম কর, আরেকবার সালাম কর। মা, আমার বিয়ে করা বউ, তোমাদের বৌমা।
আমি আসছি তো, আমি সব ঠিক করে ফেলবো। তুমি বসো, বসো তো, এখানে বসো, আমি দেখছি। আন্টি, আঙ্কেল,
ফাইনাল ডিসিশন লয়ে লইছি, আজকে রাতে কিন্তু আপনার লগেই ঘুমাবো।
আমার লগে কেন বাজান? আপনি আমার লগে ঘুমাইবেন কেন?
জিন্দেগি তুই এইটা আর পোষাইতে পারবি না বাজার। তোর আমি সাজিয়ে দিতাছি তুই জলদি।
ক্যাচেল লাগাইছে।
মা তুই এক কাম কর, জামাই লইয়া শ্বশুরবাড়ি জাগা। ওন মা শ্বশুর
এই তো একেবারে বাঘের বাচ্চা।
ফুদি দে।
আচ্ছা বাঘের মতন যাবি।
আমি কইতাছি ওখানে খুইলা আসো নালে আমি টাইনা ছিড়া ফেলামু কইলাম।
আমার খানদানি পোশাক তুমি টাইনা ছিঁড়া ফেলাইবা?
আমার ফোন দাও।
নিবারা আমারে কইছো বন্ধুর লগে কথা কও, তুমি তো এঞ্জেল সোনিয়ার লগে কথা কও কি?
তারপর বউরে দিয়ে হাত পাটি পাইছে, এর বাদে বউরে কইছে পানি লয়ে আহো, বউ পানি লয়ে আইছে, এই পানি দিচ্ছে ফালায়া।
আম্মা আব্বা রুটি সুরত দেখছেন? রুটি এরকম তেরে বাগা খেলা, হ্যাঁ রুটি সুন্দর।
আব্বা আমারে না হয় তুমি বুঝাইলা, তুমি তোমার খানদানের কি বুঝাইবা, আমার আত্মীয় স্বজনের কি বুঝাইবা?
আমি দুঃখিত।
বইয়ের হাতে মার খাওয়া চলে, তাই কিছু কই নাই কা।
আমার খানদানে জামাই মারনের নিয়ম নাই কা।
তুই আমার এখান থেকে যাবি না মানে কি? অক্ষণ তুই বেরোবি।
আব্বা
কুইলজা কাপে না?
ওই বেটা ওই তোর কইল জায়গা না মিছা কথা কইতে, হ্যাঁ হারাম খোর জানি কোনানকার।
মাগার মারামারিতে 1 নম্বর।
আমি পারি। এখন মনটা চাইতেছে তোমার কান্দের উপর চড়ায় একটা আসান মারি।
ঠিক আছে ভাই, আমার মুখ চুপ বন্ধ থাকবো, আর কেউ আমি কিছু কমু না, মুখে কষ্ট।
এখন লাইনে আইছস।